Welcome to Challenge 6D, presented to you by the Machine Learning Warriors. Our team was formed by 6 members and was captained by Chris Cordy from National Highways. The challenge was to produce a machine learning model that would predict when the customer team was not going to hit their correspondence closeout targets and flag this to the team so they could focus on high-risk items. Further developments were to visualize the data so that it was in an easy-to-understand format for the users and so that the customer correspondence team could have insight into the causes of delays and missed targets.
A team was formed. We got together to scope the project and decide what we would be doing over the next 2 days. We then familiarised ourselves with the raw data and conducted an exploratory data analysis. The data was then cleansed and submitted to several different models to decide which gave us the best accuracy. The data was then put into Power BI to produce 2 different reporting templates. Scope of the project. We created several user statements. From doing that, we established that the customer experience is key. We thought about how we can make sure customer cases are addressed within the appropriate KPIs. We considered how we could highlight potential breaches before they actually happen and how we could prevent breaches happening in the future. Team, we scoped out the end-to-end data lifecycle, and so we could be clear on what we actually wanted, the output of the modelling and the reporting. Here you can see that we go through from the original historic data cleaning, that was inputted into the model, the output of which was defining the number of days to close customer cases. We then worked through with some dummy data that if you had a new case, the model would be applied and that would predict the number of days to close a customer case. Then working in Power BI with some conditional formatting, we would be able to identify those cases that would go above the agreed KPIs at 5, 7 and 10 days, flagging those that were over the 10 days and obviously would be the biggest risk areas. Also 2 dashboards were developed, one which was a performance dashboard looking on what was happening, and then a predictive operational dashboard.
From an EDA analysis on the data in order to do some data cleaning and data analytics. For the EDA analysis, we had to drop some columns that were irrelevant and also from the new columns from the data. Most importantly, we actually categorized the procedure which the queries get to the organization as direct or indirect. Direct when it comes to the project team and indirect when it comes to every other access. Machine learning model, 3 models were built, which is a simple linear regression model, multiple linear regression model, an XGBoost regression model, and an XVR regression model. For this 3 model, the multiple linear regression actually showed a higher performance with an R square of 99%, while the other models actually shows a performance of R square of 93%. This suggests that the multiple linear regression is a better model than the other model. We created a Power BI dashboard that highlights the data from Highway England. This dashboard represents the amount of cases, the complaints, compliments, criticisms, and inquiry. We also put a stacked column chart to show the disparity between all the reasons for contact. Then we also went on to display the trend. The trends are displayed categorized in group 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the dashboard, you'll be able to definitely click each group to signify, to go in depth into the data and explain it better. We also have the completion statistics for 5 days and 7 days. We're seeing a high amount of over 60 to 70% for 5 days and 7 days.
So if we had more time to have a look at our machine learning model over the next few months, we would let it run and then we could evaluate it and change it to make it more accurate. We could also look at other data which we didn't have for the last 2 days to see if it had an effect on predicted days, such as the workforce absences.
The first question was, what limitations did you have to deal with when coming up with your solution, and what recommendations would you make to deal with them? So the limitations were data quality, so a lot of time was spent on cleaning the data before the model was tested. Quantity of data, there was only 4,000 cases or rows of data. With more data, this would have improved the accuracy of the model. Knowledge and time, having better understanding of the customer experience and the end user requirements, more than 2 days would allow for further improvements also. In terms of recommendations, we would recommend regarding data quality to improve how the data is captured, to improve its accuracy, to obtain more data from other areas of the company in order to increase the quantity of data, and also domain knowledge and time. So having experts from the customer service team to pass on domain knowledge and a specific project team to work further on the solution. Question 2. What considerations would you make to create a more efficient model that helps reduce resolution time? So to do this, we would increase the quality of the data, so that would be the accuracy and how it's collected, to obtain more records on the business, to continually optimize the model, and to revise certain parameters that are used to drive the model itself. Question 3. What considerations for factors like number of staff, day of the week affect the case resolution? The following factors, if included in the model, would help to refine the accuracy. Number 1, the volume of correspondence received at a certain point in time and allocated to a particular area. 2, tracking in hours rather than in days, and this would help to report the KPI more accurately. And also staffing levels. So if staffing levels drop due to illness, etc., it will have an indication that the team will be delayed in responding.